Hey everybody, it's Peter from Brantford Kia, and this is the 2020 Kia Sportage. Now, two things. First of all, 2020 Kia Sportage is only true in North America. This car has been out around the rest of the world as a 2019, so if you're telling me this is not a 2020 or it's a 2019, that's the confusion there. For North America, this updated model is the 2020 model, and if you're watching from the States, you're gonna tell me I'm saying Sportage wrong. I'm actually saying it right. Let's just not argue. I live in Canada. Sportage is the way you say it. It's just the Americans that say it wrong. So there you go. Fill my comments. Tell me I'm wrong, but I'm just letting you know we say it right here. Most of the rest of the world says Sportage. It's just the Americans that say it wrong. So there we go. Let's have some fun. Let's take a look at all the features on this car. This is a complete walk around. This is a redesigned model. So we're going to go over some of the same features that you may have seen in the 2019, but we're also going to touch on some of the differences. So let's go take a look, and we'll start at the very front. All right, so we'll start at the very front of the car. Let's talk about some of the things that are the same. Basically the same headlights around here. You've got probably the same hood. It looks like most of the sheet metal back is the same. Now you do have new bumpers, and that'll show you the refreshed design. If you're not a Kia nerd like me, you may not even notice. But this is the all-wheel drive model. So this is the LX all-wheel drive. It's the very base model. No options except all-wheel drive. If you have the two-wheel drive model, you'll have a different bumper. So we've always done that with the Sportage. The two-wheel drive bumpers have a little bit of a lip that comes out. The all-wheel drive bumpers have a little bit of a lip that comes in, and that, I guess, is to help approach and departure angles, so you can approach all the things that you're going to take off-road. But you're not really going to take this car too far off-road. But if you go down the country roads and you got some rocks and stuff, you've got all-wheel drive, maybe the snow snow banks that you want to go through with all-wheel drive, you'll have a little bit more of a clearance here, as opposed to a little bit more of a sort of a sporty spoiler coming out on the two-wheel drive. Other than that, same features, other than, again, that all-wheel drive. What you do have is projector beam fog lights, projector beam headlights, and you've got this new piano black trim with a black trim piece across here. Now, higher trim levels may have a different color trim piece here, but that's the real difference. This, to me, looks a little bigger as well. You do have some nice chrome detailing as well. And again, for a base model, this does not look base at all. So we're gonna walk along the side, talk about a few other things. Well, first of all, let's talk about new wheels. 17, 18, or 19-inch wheels. These are the 17-inch wheels. If you are buying a base level SUV and you're getting steel wheels, you're not doing it right. Kia doesn't do base wheels on their Sportage, on their Sorento. You get quality alloy wheels. They look really sharp. Painted mirrors. Painted door handles, no black door handles. This is, again, base model that does not look base. Chrome trim around, not black trim around. A lot of little features there. And we got some redesigned lights at the back, which we'll talk about in a minute. So if you're looking for a base level SUV that doesn't look base, 2019 Sportage is gonna be all about looking really quality. Doesn't look like it cheaped out, but you still got a good value. A couple little safety features. In the top up there, there's a little tiny camera. What does that do? Lane keeping assist. Well, lane keeping assist will actually steer the car for you to keep it in the lane. It's a system you can turn off, but I'm telling you, once you get used to it, you're gonna love it. It's a great system. It also gives you forward collision avoidance. So Kias are known for getting top scores and safety scores. They want cars that will autonomously brake now to get that top possible score. This car can do that. So it has a forward collision avoidance. It's also got that lane keeping assist, which is, like I said, it can steer the car to keep it centered in a lane. A super great feature if you're playing with your touchscreen or something like that. And we're gonna talk about a touchscreen in this car too, because it's got an all new one, even on the base model. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. We'll get to that in a few minutes. Let's go to the back, talk about those features. We'll work our way to the driver's seat. All right, the rear of the 2020 Sportage. We've still got this spoiler up here. Again, not an option. It comes standard on the base level car here. You've got a little bit of a redesign to the lights here. You can see them a little bit better at night. We haven't got a great lighting to show you them, but you can see the light pattern is a little different. Really rich looking light. A lot of Kia is really focusing on sort of the jewelry of the car, which is the lighting, some of the chrome trim and other pieces like that, to sort of make them look a little nicer. And you've got redesigned lights here. So at night, you may notice that there are a little bit different lights down here. Down here, signal lights, reflectors. This section is all new as well. You've got a bit of a diffuser is what they call that, where it has that sort of bump design in the bottom there. Again, the chrome trim, nice clear signal lights here, backup lights as well, reflector. That's really the trim, the look differences there. So again, this is a carryover model, but it does have an updated look because of the bumpers, some new dash pieces, and what they call us in the spec sheet, they say a repackaging of options and features. So you get more value in this car. So if you're looking for a car, we still have the 2019s on the lot right now. They're gonna be great value, great price. You're gonna get a few more features in the 2020 model. And again, it's a 2020 model. I'm filming this April 2nd of 2019. So if you're thinking about resale value, this is gonna be a 2020 model for a long time. You know, 2020 this year, 2020 next year. So, all right, let's pop the trunk real quick. Same basic trunk in here. You've got seats here that recline. So what that means is you can make them nice and upright for lots of cargo space, or you can keep them sort of tilted back for passenger comfort. You've also got a floor here. I'm going to take the floor mats out for a second. You've got a floor that can add 70 liters of cargo space by simply doing that. Push it down and you drop the floor. So if you've got luggage, you can get an optional cargo cover here, or some of the higher trim levels have that. And if you've got some luggage that you need to fit underneath that, you can do that. If you do get that cargo cover, it will also be something that fits underneath the floor, so you can keep it in the car. When you've got a flat floor here, it'll fit underneath this section right over here. So underfloor storage and a floor that drops, reclining seats that give you more cargo space or more passenger space, and a real big opening. Not a lot of intrusion here from the wheel wells, which is sort of a Sportage thing. They're good with that. You do have tie downs as well. So good practical cargo area. And let's talk about the back seat now. All right, backseat the 2020 Kia Sportage. I'm about 6 feet tall. Is it easy to get in? You bet it's easy to get in. So you've got nice clearance here over the wheel. Sometimes the wheel humps in other cars jump right up in here. It makes it harder to get in. It's very easy for me to get in. I mentioned those reclining seats. So here you go. There's square upright for luggage space. This is kind of a comfortable position for me. I can go all the way back to here and several settings in between to make it really, really comfortable. So I mean, I can totally relax here. Let's put it more of an upright position. Keep it right about there. I've got a ton of headroom up here as well. So at least a fist plus more of space. Again, I'm about 6 feet tall. One thing I really like, this car has, well, all of our Kias tend to have, most of our Kias have armrests in the middle. They don't drop right to the seat. So they sit where your elbows are gonna sit. You've got cup holders in here, vents back here, got a 12-volt port down the bottom here. In the back of the seat, you have a pocket, not just one seat, but both seats. You've got nice two-tone stitching in this car, two-tone stitching down here. Again, for a base model, people aren't gonna think that you cheaped out in any way. Very nice space back here, lots of room. Bottle holders in the doors, cup holders in the armrest like I mentioned, and just a nice, proper, rich cloth feel to it. So lots of space, lots of room, and lots of comfort for a small SUV. This is a great space to be. Now let's go to the driver's seat. We're going to talk about all the features in there. All right, the driver's seat, really the driver's environment. There's a lot of things here to talk about. So a couple of the changes that you're gonna notice. The very first thing you're gonna notice is a very big screen here. Now they sort of give it a flat panel look. It's different than we've done before. It's an 8-inch screen. It looks really, really sharp. Crystal clear screen, excellent screen. And they do it a little differently than every other model we've had. So like I said, it looks more flush with the vents up here. I really like the look. So that gives you a couple things. One, nice big touchscreen, easy to use, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. So what that does is gives you navigation in the very base level car. You can do that through your smartphone. Voice controlled, works amazingly well. You just plug it in down here and you plug your phone in down the bottom here, and you've got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, depending on which phone you use. Big up on this all the way up on this 8-inch screen. Works really well. Of course, that gives you texting and phone capabilities. You don't have to have your phone plugged in for those things, for your Bluetooth to work, Bluetooth streaming audio. All that works fine without that. The other thing you get up here is a huge backup camera that's crystal clear, and it also has guidelines. So the blue lines tell you directly where the car is. The other lines that you see will tell you the path your car will take. So they turn with the wheel. Another great system there. All right, moving down, we've got our radio buttons here. So some of those radio buttons are basically redundant buttons. You can touch the screen or you can touch the button. So if you're the kind of person that likes to touch certain buttons, instead of having to find the spot on the screen to touch, you can do that with these buttons down here, or you can use the screen buttons. Things like a volume switch you have on your steering wheel as well, so you can use either one. And climate control here, you've got manual climate control in this model, automatic climate control in the higher trim levels. Heated seats. Standard. So that's a standard feature on every Kia Sportage in Canada, and they work really, really well because it's a cool morning this morning, so I've used them as well. Up top in the mirror, just a regular mirror here. You do have UVO intelligence as an option in higher trim levels. I mentioned that camera system up here. So that camera that's in behind this mirror here looks forward, sees the lines above 60 kilometers an hour, and helps steer the car by keeping it in the lane. If you don't like that, just turn it off. Lots of settings to make it more active, less active. I would suggest trying it because once you get used to it, it's amazing. It's so great to glance down the screen, know you're gonna stay centered in the lane. Super great system. Let's talk about controls. Steering wheel controls. You've got cruise control on the far right side, on the right side of the wheel. Just inside of that, you've got an information display panel controls. So in the center of your dash, I'll show you right here, you've got an information display panel. You can swipe through all kinds of options and features there, safety features, car settings, all kinds of things, fuel economy, all those types of things. All of that is at fingertip controls with your left thumb. On the right side of the steering, or sorry, the left side of the steering wheel, where was I going? Right thumb for those steering wheel controls. Left side of the steering wheel, you have your audio and Bluetooth controls, same type of arrangement there. So your left side can control all that. Your right side controls cruise control and driver information controls. On the stock, you can notice that you have automatic headlights. So automatic headlights, standard on the Kia Sportage, which means they turn on automatically at night. You also have fog lights. So again, not at all a base level car. Couple little interesting detail trims in here. As we look through, you've got a leather wrapped gear shift. It is still the 6-speed automatic transmission. You do have a manual shifting option on this car. You can just pull it to the left and shift up and down manually. There is no manual transmission in this car in Canada. Drive modes, you've got 3 drive modes: Eco, Normal, Sport, and they can be adjusted at any time by hitting this button. Anytime, any speed, that's fine. This one's got hill descent control, which means it can keep a really slow speed as you're heading down a steep hill. Great for when I go camping, I've used that before. And there is a 4-wheel drive lock button. So the all-wheel drive system is Dynamax all-wheel drive, designed by Magna International. Magna International is a Canadian company. It's designed for Canadian winters. If you just want to drive and not touch any buttons at all and know that your car is going to think for you, this car has an all-wheel drive system. It doesn't wait to slip to put in 4-wheel drive. It gives you 4-wheel drive and backs it off as it doesn't need it. It gives you so much control. If you're ever completely stuck in snow, you can lock the car in 4-wheel drive. All 4 wheels will turn equally and be locked together, and that's a button here. The rest of the time, when you're driving in snow, if you're not comfortable driving in snow, this is the all-wheel drive system for you. You don't have to think about anything. It will do everything it can to keep control. Let's talk features. Steering wheel. You've got some aluminum look trim on the steering wheel, so not just a plain trim, piano black trim up top, so rich looking wheel. Speaking of rich looking, that contrasting stitching, and a lot of times they just have a single stitch on the side. These are multiple stitch. They look like a high-end seat. They're really good quality seats. You've got contrasting stitching on this armrest with a leather feel to it. I think it's not real leather, but it is a leather feel. You've got some stitching look across the dash, which is a real soft touch dash as well. Aluminum trim look around the screen and the gauges there. One interesting detail, there's a little bit of lack of symmetry in the car. The handle on the door here goes up into the tweeter. That's a new design for us for the 2020 model. On the passenger door, it goes up into the tweeter. On the driver's door, there is no handle there. So you only have the lower handle to shut the door, but not the one that goes more vertical. So interesting design details there, just to give an interesting look. And yeah, lane keeping assist, I want to talk about that because that's the forward collision avoidance. Like I said, button here to turn it off. I know I've mentioned it a ton of times. It's just standard on this car, and we didn't expect that to have it standard on things like the Forte, the Soul. Actually, it's not standard on the Forte, but the Soul has it on upper trim levels, standard across the Sportage. So like I said, we expected the very lowest level to not have that feature. It does, and that makes this a great value and a very safe car. Little details, cup holders here, lots of storage spaces, armrest storage in there, lots of places for all your things, bottle holders in the doors, cup holders like I mentioned. You know, just tons of features and a real sporty driving environment. I should mention that the seat can raise and lower, so if you're ever sharing this car, again, not just forward and back, not just a base system, tilt and telescopic wheels, so you can put it wherever you want it, and a nice grippy feeling to the wheel as well. So there you go, 2020 Sportage. Let me finish up the video in 1 second. All right, why do we make these videos? Well, we make them for a whole bunch of reasons, but the big reason is to earn your business. If you're in Ontario, we want to be your Sportage dealer. We just won the Platinum Prestige Award. That puts us in the top 3% of Kia dealers in the world. We have a sales team that is not commission, which means they're interested in finding you the right car, not the car with the most margin for them. We're a great place to buy from. If you live in Ontario, we want to be your 2020 Sportage dealer, so give us a call, 519-304-6542, or you can reach us at internetsales@brantfordkia.ca. And if you don't live in the area, send me some comments. Let me know what kind of things you want to know about this car, because that helps me with our customers, and it helps me make better videos for you. So thanks everybody for watching, and there you go, the 2020 Kia Sportage.